Here we are, Rick.
It is. It's a rainy Tuesday.
That's the news. The news is everywhere. It's raining, Armageddon, and California is underwater, and it just won't stop. It just won't stop raining.
Yeah, I don't think it stopped for what, 2 days, 3 days? Since Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think we need a little break.
Maybe a little bit of a break.
I am from New Jersey. You know, I've lived here in California since I was, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something like that. And I do not do weather. I don't do clouds, wind, all of it
Right.
gets on my nerves. I just like it to be about 78 and sunny. Otherwise, I am not at my optimal state of mind,
Well,
you know?
for those of us who have spent a lot of time, I'm pretty much raised in Southern California, we don't do well in the rain. And so I see the news reports, and I want to say to people, look, when it's raining, please do not drive the car under the underpass to see how it's going to go through the water, because it's not going to work. Stop. Don't do that.
No, I saw somebody put a kayak in the riverbed.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's like the Santa Ana River. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it's fast and it's deep and it's scary.
People are trying to have their 5 minutes of, I don't know what you'd call it, but you know, they're taken away from services for the emergency system.
That's for sure.
I don't know, Rick. Hopefully we'll get a break here soon. Owning lots of horses, I shouldn't say owning, they own me, but being the servant of several horses, it is not a fun time to be digging trenches, and that's basically what we're doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't think
anyway.
So. Yikes.
All right, so last week I got a bunch of offers, and I called you because one was was kind of strange, and it had a huge gift. It was hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, a gift from somebody to the group of people that were trying to buy the house. And so the gifter wasn't on the offer or anything, and it was a gift for an income property. And so I called you. I said, Rick, the hell is going on? Can you get a gift for an income property? So let's just talk ABCs of buying an income property, and then I'll give my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, great call when you called me that, because we get these. And so, look, it's easy to generate an approval letter. You know, lenders can input the data to the system and do an automated underwriting approval. It looks really super cool and clean. And the reality is the automated intelligence does not underwrite to all of those guidelines. You can't see the documents. And so there's guidelines that are specific to investment properties that are not like buying a regular owner-occupied type of home. The big one is you cannot have gift funds for down payment, closing costs, or reserves for an investment property. And so it sounds great on the surface. Oh, you know, my uncle's going to give me $100,000. We're going to buy this house. Well, it doesn't really work that way. But in addition to that, there's a cash reserve requirement for investment properties.
All right, so let's talk about cash reserve, sort of basic qualification information, sort of the minimum down payment, and what kind of an interest rate sort of increase over the going rate, because you're a non-owner occupant, might someone expect, just to get people's feet wet.
Yeah, it's a great way to go with that. So 25% down payment. So you cannot do investment property at 10 or 15 or 20. You can technically do 20% down, but the rate would be so high, it would be just kind of out of sight, because there's price ads for that. So I would not recommend a 20% down. It's much tougher. So generally 25% down. You have to have 6 months of what we call PITI reserves, or what are PITI reserves. That is your total mortgage payment, including your homeowner's insurance and your taxes and your mortgage. So the complete mortgage payment. So let's say that you're 6 months. So let's say that the house payment is $6,000 a month, including taxes and insurance. You have to have a minimum of $36,000 in reserves verified in your bank after down payment and closing costs for investment property. Okay. Now, with respect to rate, yes, there's also an increase in cost for that loan. Generally speaking, depending upon the numbers, credit scores, and so on, you can expect about a 0.5 to 0.75% increase in the rate on an investment property compared to an owner occupied property.
That was another thing. They had submitted their pre-approval and the interest rate was like 6 something. And I thought, what in the hell is going on here? Again, I was scratching my head. I was like, this is like in La La Land. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm seeing it a lot. I do, as you know, I do a lot of cross calls where I actually qualify home buyers for listing agents to make sure the buyers are really a real buyer. And the stuff I see in these approvals just don't make sense. I mean, they don't, because look, on these approvals, you can put the data wherever you want it to be, and we'll read it as it's factual. It's not factual until the underwriter reviews the documents and validates them. So yeah, it's a great catch, by the way, because sometimes they'll put like a very low rate on that approval because their ratios are so high that if they go above that rate, they'll get declined. So to make it look like a really clean approval, they'll put a lower rate on there and give you the approval, and it looks like it's all legitimate. Well, it is legitimate if they can get that rate, but the chances are that they're not going to get that rate.
Right. I felt like I really honestly felt like maybe the buyers thought this was legit and this was sort of part of a bait and switch situation, you know?
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about income property real quick. So you talked about the money part of it. So 20 to 25% down, 6 months worth of reserves of your whole entire payment. And your interest rate's going to be a little bit higher because you're a non-owner occupant. Okay. Now, from my perspective, people like a lot of people call me and say they want to purchase investment property, but they have no idea how, usually the 25% down knocks most people out because that's a lot of money.
Right. It is.
And so, if they want to buy apartments, but the people that already own apartments are actually the biggest offenders of what I'm about to tell you. And that is that they don't keep up with the current laws and rules for, the state of California. And it's not like I'm, oh, yay, more rules. But the thing is that you could be violating the rules and now you've gotten yourself into a pickle and you've got some other people in a pickle and it's just not a happy thing. So if you are thinking about getting into the world of investment property, there is an association in Orange County. It's called the Orange County Apartment Association. And they have it's like very old school. They have really great resources and the costs are not great at all to get involved over there and to learn some things about being a really good landlord. We have some tenants moving out. They just gave us notice because they're a family. They're 2 apartments. One's mom and one's a daughter and her family. And the mom's been there since I was pregnant with Timmy, and Timmy will be 18. Wow. And the daughter's been there, I think, about 13 years. So, we try to create a happy, nice place for people to live. And, but that requires you got to read up on the rules. You have to know what's going on. And just like any other business, you have to know that there's risks involved and really be prepared with, what are some of the things that could happen that might really rock your world, if something happens with your investment property. So it is not something to just not consider all the pros and cons are. And if you want to talk more about this and you want to buy a property for an investment, of course, send us a message. I think, Rick, you can help out a state too, right?
I can.
Yeah.
You can, yes.
I have a lot of people I know going to Arizona to buy investment properties.
It's pretty common.
Yeah. So feel free to give us a message, shoot us a message, and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. And Rick, do you have anything else to say about buying investment properties?
No, it's a great topic. Glad you called me on that one last week. And there's a lot to know. And so that's why it's best to always call us in advance. Let's do the proper planning up front. So that way we know what to expect as we go through that process.
I am so into the proper planning up front. That's my comfort zone. That's my love language right there.
For sure,
being in
both
a
of
huge
us.
rush to make big, important financial decisions. So, all right, Rick, thank you. Stay dry out there.
You too, Megan. Thanks. See you later.
All right, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.